Now we're gonna
Okay,
start.
let's start with the president candidates.
I'm Dhruv, and the position I'm running for is president.
It's Nguyen, and I'm running for class president.
And now the vice president candidates.
My name is Darren, Agbayani, and I'm running for vice president.
I'm Dorothy Ho, and I'm running for vice president.
And the secretary candidate.
I'm Timothy, and I'm running for secretary.
And the treasurer candidates.
Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm running for treasurer.
Okay, so we'll be moving on. This is the first question for everyone here. What are the ideas you would like to implement this school year for your class? So you'll be having 1 minute to think and 30 minutes to answer. So your time starts now. Okay, so your 1 minute is up now. We're gonna be starting from the treasurer, secretary, vice president, and then president is last. So our treasurer candidate, it's your turn to answer first.
Some ideas that I'm trying to implement this school year for my class is to create, I'm sorry. I don't know what implement mean.
Okay, so implement is like some ideas that you wanna do, like you know, next in the school year.
Okay, so some ideas that I want to implement for the school year from my class is I want to create more fundraisers, add like taco trucks and boba stand to raise money for others event like spirit weeks or like sport events.
Okay, so you're done. Next, we're gonna have the secretary speak. The secretary.
Some things I want to implement into the school are events, more sports, and more stuff to do at school, like mini games and stuff. That's it.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the vice president candidates. Can we have Darren speak first?
What would I like to implement into this school year is things that bring students together. So things like sports and clubs. I think we should showcase those different things during the school year because it'll just bring a lot of our students together.
Okay, can we have the next vice president candidate?
This year, I'd like to implement more fundraisers or class events so everyone could interact with each other and we could have some class spirit.
Okay, so can we have the president candidate, Melissa, go first?
I definitely want to set up more fundraisers and spirit events, and I want to take in other people's answers and incorporate it into new events or new ideas that not only would help like everyone be engaged, but it would help our school raise money as well.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Can we have Dhruv go next?
Well, one thing I want to do this school year is to make sure that we are more connected as freshmen. One way I'll achieve this is by the freshman student forum. This is a form that freshmen can take, and it will ask them about their interests. If their interests are related to a certain clubs or to certain events at the school, it will notify them about where they can join, when they can join, and how they can join.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to be moving to the next question. And again, you'll have 1 minute to think and 30 seconds to answer. So this is the question, the next question. How would you most efficiently contribute to the school? So your 1 minute will be starting now. Okay, your 1 minute is up. Now we're going to be having you guys answer. So we're going to start with our secretary candidate first.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
We're going to have you start first. So your question is, how would you most efficiently contribute to the school?
I would have everyone follow directions of what we would do. Like, it were, wait, can you repeat the question?
Oh, yeah, sure. How would you most efficiently contribute to the school?
I would keep adding ideas if we were being questioned of what we should do as for events. And I would try to write down everything I can so that if we ever need to look back of what we need to do or what we said, we would remember and stuff.
So now we're going to be moving on to the vice president candidates. We're going to start with Dorothy.
This year, I'd like to contribute with fundraisers or we could do more events. I'd like to brainstorm more ideas as throughout the year. And I could also ask my fellow classmates of what we'd like.
Okay. We're gonna be moving on to our next candidate, Darren.
I would say that I'm a pretty social person, so I would try to communicate with our student government and try to ask as many questions to see what the scenario is and try to work together as a team to find out what the best solution is. And I'll be looking around the school trying to get on top of every idea and look through everything thoroughly.
Next, we're gonna be going with our treasurer.
This year, I want to contribute to the school by putting my time and effort to helping people around the schools or helping with clubs and events and stuff like that.
Next, our president candidates. Can we start with Dhruv?
I want to most officially contribute by making sure we have the most connections. I want to connect to different people and use their skills in a useful way. For example, that student forum I was talking about earlier, I have a bunch of friends who can code it for us. And that way we don't have to pay separate coders to do it. I also want to make sure that funds are being used wisely and not wasted on events that are useless.
Next, can we have Melissa?
I want to contribute to the school by creating a more healthy environment and allowing everyone to have a voice on what they would want and having people more engaged into like different fundraisers, different events that are very diverse and different from the ones that we already have, that allows everyone to get closer with one another, and not only that, make this year a fun year.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. So we're gonna be moving on to our next question, which is, why would you choose to run for your specific position? And you have 1 minute to think again. So yeah, and your time starts now. Okay, your 1 minute is up. So now I'll be asking people to answer. Can we have the president candidates go first this time? We'll start with Melissa.
I ran for president because it gives me an opportunity to get better at communicating with others like students or student leaders, and I'm also easy to work with, and that allows me to have a better understanding on other people that I'm working with, like my peers. And I've also had experience with leadership in middle school that helped me learn about time management and being responsible for other people and creating new ideas.
Thank you, Melissa. Can we have Dhruv next?
Actually, I never wanted to run for president, but after seeing that my friends' ideas, that all these good petitions, these good ideas were just being wasted, I decided that if no one is going to make sure that they get a stage, I will be that person.
Okay, thank you, Dhruv. So now we're gonna have our vice president candidates go next. We'll start with Darren.
Well, I've been playing some sports, like sports teams, and I think that I would work great in a group and be able to communicate in our student government. And I just chose vice president because I just wanted to contribute to the school, to the government, and I just wanted to see like what happens behind the scenes throughout all of the events, the clubs, the planning, and I just want to be part of that and contribute to the school.
Thank you, Darren. Can we have the next vice president candidate speak?
I decided to run for this position because I wanted to interact more with the school and try to be more as a leader. I didn't have confidence to run for president, so I decided to do vice.
Okay, thank you. Next, we're gonna move on to our secretary.
I chose secretary because I felt more comfortable with it. It sort of matched my personality and my goals in the future. And I just wasn't brave enough to choose any president or vice president.
Thank you. So our last person that's going to be speaking is our treasurer candidate, Jenny.
I chose to run for treasurer because I want to help out with fundraisers and I want to do my best to finance. This role will also help me to get to know my classmates better and I can learn more about them throughout the school year.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So we're going to be moving on to our next question. And this is for everyone again. What kind of legacy would you want to leave here at Independence? Okay, so the time is up. So we're gonna be starting to ask you guys. We're gonna start with the vice president candidates. And the first to go will be Dorothy.
I'd like to leave a legacy of our leadership and class spirit here.
Okay, thank you. So now we're gonna be moving on with Darren.
I wouldn't necessarily want to make a huge legacy for myself, but for our class of 2026, I want to be a class where upcoming students that are coming to the school can look up to. And I I just want to be like a big role model for students that are coming into the school.
Okay, thank you. So next up, we're gonna have our treasurer, Jenny, speak.
I want to leave a legacy as someone who people can look up to and think that, I want to leave a legacy as someone who people can look up to and a helpful person.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So we're gonna be moving on to our president candidates. We'll start with Melissa.
I also wouldn't necessarily really want a legacy for myself, but I want people to look up to me as someone who was a role model and someone who took leadership very seriously and someone who could make our class year a good year.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Next up, we're gonna have Dhruv speak.
In middle school, there was a person named Gandhi who started the Gandhi Games, where two classes have a sports type duo thing. For over 30 years, it keeps going. That is the legacy I want to bring at IHS, like Gandhi did to my middle school. And with that legacy, I want to create a student forum. I want to give a stage to people for their ideas to spread. And I want to make IHS a more connected and better place.
Okay, thank you, Dhruv. And our last person is going to be the secretary candidate, Tim.
The kind of legacy I want is someone who people, students, staff, and teachers could look up to, rely on, and be inspired by.
Okay, thank you, Tim. We're going to be moving on to our next question. And your next question is, you are now part of your class office and there was a conflict with other class officers. How would you plan on approach or solving the conflict? Okay, your 1 minute is up. Now we're gonna have our treasurer candidate, Jenny, go first.
If there was a conflict, I would solve the conflict by talking it out and figuring out what the problem is so we can solve it and in a professional way without anyone's feelings getting hurt.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So next we're gonna have our vice president candidate, Darren, go.
I'd first like to come as a team and identify what the level of conflict is and how to solve it as a team. And I think if we do everything together as a group, then we could find a easy and non-harming way to resolve this conflict.
Thank you, Darren. Can we have Dorothy go next?
If there was a conflict, I'd like to talk it out with others and try to be understanding and slowly take time to solve the problem.
Okay, thank you. Can we have our secretary candidate go next?
I would listen to both sides, hear what they need to say, and I would try to find a solution. And if one side has a better answer, I would probably try to persuade the other side to follow them.
Okay, thank you. So our next person that's going to be speaking is our president candidate, Dhruv.
I would simply just talk it out because I don't want student council to be running inefficiently because I had a feud with someone or someone had a feud with me. So.
Okay, thank you.
If there was a conflict, I would first let each person say their side of the story because it's good to understand both sides instead of jumping to conclusions. And then I would just take things slow and like calm them down for a bit because when people are like angry and into an argument, it gets really tense. I would try to figure out what happened in the argument and find out if it was in school or in office and letting them be patient while understanding both sides and seeing if they are misunderstood and letting them compromise.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. We're going to be moving on to our next question. And this question is only for the president candidates. So what is your personal definition of a leader? And I'm going to be starting the 1 minute timer. Okay, your 1 minute is up. So we're going to have Dhruv go first.
To me, someone who is a leader is someone who toils with everyone else, who shares the pain with everyone else, who fights with everyone else. And yet he or she does not want to take more credit or more money or more of anything than anyone else.
Okay, thank you. We're going to be moving on to Melissa.
My personal definition of a leader is someone who's able to take up responsibilities for not just themselves, but for other people as well, and being able to move quickly to get things done and having the ability to work with others while setting up a good example.
Thank you, President candidates. We're going to be moving on to the next question. Oh, this one is also for the President candidates. What qualities do you exemplify that will allow you to do your best for your class? Okay, your 1 minute is up. Can we have Melissa go first?
Some qualities that I have that will allow me to do my best for my class is that I have social skills that allow me to work quickly and efficiently with others, that can create a safe and healthy environment. I've had 2 years experience with leadership that helps me able to guide others and create new ideas, like more fundraisers, events, and more. I'm able to listen to other people's ideas while combining them with my own, and I'm able to finish up any project and be able to juggle anything if I have sports or clubs in hand as well.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Can we have Dhruv go next?
I don't waste time. I don't waste money. I will be efficient.
Okay, thank you, Dhruv. So this question is for the vice president candidates. How do you plan on leading the class? What vision do you have as vice president of your class? So I will be starting the 1 minute timer now. Okay, your time is up. We're gonna be starting with Dorothy.
I plan on leading the class by taking control and leading others. For the vision, I vision everyone collaborating and working well with each other.
So we're gonna be continuing from where we left off. So can we have Darren speak next?
I've been around enough to the point where I'm very impressed with our freshman class, and I think that we can use their skills and I can help guide them create a really safe and enjoyable environment so that the upcoming students, like I said earlier, can have a safe place to be involved at and a good school to attend.
We're gonna be moving on to the next question, guys. And this one is for the secretary candidate. How do you plan to take meeting minutes? How will you make sure to keep your class organized? And you're gonna get 1 minute to think. Okay, can we have Tim speak? Your time is up.
I plan to take meeting minutes by taking notes on a Chromebook, online, on a document, and if needed, I'll also write it on a piece of paper. And to keep my class organized, I would put everything in a folder or binder. If needed, I'll tell people what to do in situation if they don't know what to do.
Okay, thank you. So our next question is for our treasurer candidate, Jenny. What are you financially, oh, sorry, what are your financial plans for your class? Any fundraisers in mind? I'm gonna be starting your 1 minute timer now. Okay, your time is up, Jenny. Can you please speak?
So I want to raise fundraisers based off what other students want to do. Like I'll ask them, but I do have some in mind already, like bobas and taco trucks, also some like keychains or other accessory.
Okay, thank you. So this is a question for everyone. How will you manage your time with extracurriculars, school, and your position? And you have 1 minute to think. Okay, time's up. We're gonna be starting with our president candidates. Can we go with Dhruv first?
Same way that entrepreneurs manage their money. Bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is where you write. Well, now since it's time directed, I will simply just write the time I have during the day, the time for school, the time for extracurriculars, and the time I will spend toward my position as president. And that is how I will manage my time.
Okay, thank you, Dhruv. Can we have Melissa go next?
I would manage my time by just scheduling all of my days that I am busy and the days I'm not busy. And normally we have work at school, and I would probably finish that in class while focusing on stuff that I need to do in class office during after school. And yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Can we have our vice president candidates go next? Can we have Darren go first?
I was thinking of using a planner, and I would like schedule all of my things on the planner, like my schoolwork when it's due, and I would also write down some good ideas of what I should do. Like, let's say if I like a extracurricular work, I still want to do the best at what I'm doing at, so I'd probably jot down some ideas of what would be best and like what would be best for each thing.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Can we have Dorothy go next?
I manage my time by scheduling everything out. And since in middle school, I did a sport and a club, so I have good time management skills.
Okay, thank you, Dorothy. Can we have our secretary candidate, Timothy, go next?
I would manage my time by scheduling everything out, writing things on sticky notes, putting stuff on the wall in my rooms to make sure I remember what to do and space everything out.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Timothy. Can we have Jenny go next?
I would try to balance and do a little bit of everything every day and trying to do anything I have left after school or on the weekends. And if I have plans for upcoming fundraisers, I would try to do them after school or in my free time.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So that was our last question, and this is our freshman forms, and we're done.